Hi, Internet viewers, Frank Rauscher again. We finally finished the mouse and we're off on another project. Now, before I get rolling into doing another bird or something like that, or, the whole enchilada of the bird itself, the shaping and all, but I want to do something. The holidays are coming up, and I figured maybe I'll introduce one more whimsical carving that will be simplified. And if anybody wants to try it, I'll have like a kit available and stuff like that. I'm going to do one of the favorites out there for around Christmas time. The Christmas bird, I consider it, is cardinal. Okay, so I'm going to do a tree ornament that is going to be simple, and I'm going to show it to you, which is this one right here. And you can have a lot of detail to it, and it's really not that hard. It comes together really quick, and I'll show you how to do it. And it's great. You can hang it and put it on your tree, or you could give it away as a gift to friends and everybody that may celebrate the holidays. And I will show you how to do that. This was inspired by Reynold Randolph, and he did, I'm going to show you his work, and it really came out well. It inspired me, and I thought this would be a great idea for my subscribers to do for a Christmas gift, or just to give to the family and stuff like that, or whatever. And I figured this would be it's simple again. I'm trying to just do a couple shorts. Like the mouse came pretty fast, and it's whimsical. And this would be like a holiday thing. And then I'll get back into the seriousness of a real carving of realistic birds or animals and so on. So I hope you'll enjoy the one I'm doing, but I'm going to show you this one here right now. And if you could bear with me, I'll bring it. Hey, we're back again. For those who wants to try to do this project and make it on their own, I got a hold of the cardinal pattern that I used before, and I'm going to ask you to reduce that to about 3/4 scale. That is what this was made up of. Let me show you here. I'm going to take the hanger off of here, and sure I will. And that is the scale. It's a 3/4 inch scale of the actual bird. And I think this is a nice size one to put as an ornament on your tree. Okay, so that's what I did. I scaled this down so that this would be that scale. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to get a hold of this, and I use a red pencil, and I use graphite paper. Let me just make sure I got the right side here. Wrong side, I think. Hang on, let me flip this. I had the right side. Okay, so I'll place this down here. This is compressed board, okay? And you could use any cardboard or anything like that. And what you want to do is get your piece onto the board. Now, this is just to make a template, okay? So what I would do is I use a red pen, and I outline the whole cardinal, okay? Follow the line work, okay? Right on down. And this is how I make my template so I could cut this out. This isn't the one we're going to use to make, we're going to put this on some, like a plywood. Now, if I did it right, this all transfers over, if I did it right, onto the board. And it did. Okay. So we have the outline of that exactly as is. Now, what I do to help myself, I'm going to get my Sharpie. I'm going to come in here just so that when I go to cut this, and this is how I make my templates a lot. Not always. It's usually what cardboard I have around, but if I'm going to make several of them, it's good to have a real good thick cardboard, and that's what I use here. This could be almost like a Masonite board, but it's really thin. What I mean by thin, it's not real thick. Okay, so I'm going to put this on a bandsaw and cut this out. Okay, and once you do that, I'm going to skip the bandsaw routine, and when I cut it out, there it is. Okay, we cut the whole thing out, and we have now a template. Okay, and I'm going to try to skip the bandsaw routine, but you just lay this down and cut that out on the outside, and this is what you end up with. Okay, so, and you could do this with any cardboard that has some thickness to it, because it holds up when you want to run your pencil or a pen around. Okay, it has some thickness to it. Now, here's what I do. This happens to be plywood, but this isn't a layered plywood. This is a full piece of wood that was cut thin. This is like 3/16. But you can use any plywood. Okay, don't get so hung up on anything in particular. Whatever you have available is good. You can even use a 1/4 inch. I just happen to have this, so I'm going to try to cut as many out on this, and then I'll show you how I go about cutting this on the bandsaw. Okay, which is not anything magic. Once I got this template out, now what I'm going to do is I'm getting a blue pen rather than a red one, only to follow my pattern work. And hopefully the pen will work so that I do not have any missed lines. Let's see what we got here. I think I got it all. Yeah. So there it is there. So I transferred this over to here. Now, the same thing happens again. You get this, you stick it on your bandsaw, and you cut that out. Okay? And for those who don't have bandsaws, I will have a kit available for you, if you'd like, where you have the pattern, you have the eyes, and you have your piece of wood here for detailing. Okay, so don't worry about that. If you need to get it from me, I have all this done already. And for any one of those who want to do it, that is great. Now, again, I'm not going to show you how I did this on the bandsaw. This is pretty much just following the lines. And when you get done, here you go. You get an outline of the bird, okay, the cardinal here. So with this, now you have an outline to start right on the wood. Now, here's what I've done. I got my sheet, and what I ended up doing is I cut this out, okay? And I'm going to show you the cutout. I cut that out exactly from the pattern, or I should say, yeah, the pattern. And I have this, and what you can do is get a small piece okay, give me a second here. Okay, we're back at it. Stop the filming for a minute. I'm going to get this cut out of the pattern, and I'm going to come up here, right in here, and I'm going to attach this so it doesn't go walking on me. And I could always flip this up and back, okay? I want to try to do it right in here. And what I'm going to do to expedite things here, and here's what I did. This was this view in profile here that I have of the bird, and I cut it out, okay? So that's what that is. Now, I'm getting my sheet. Let me make sure I'm doing the right side here. Yes. I'm going to slip this in. This is the graphite paper I used, okay, to get the markings over. I'm going to use the blue pencil, the blue ballpoint pen, because it transfers better, and hopefully I'll get most of this in play here. I think for what I need, let's see, will I get the eye in there? Maybe not all of it, but we'll get a lot of it. Okay, this is laying exactly over the piece, at least I hope it is anyway. I'm going to do the eye first. I'm going to circle that around. I'll lift this up just to see if that transferred over. So I have the graphite paper on the right side, and it didn't happen. So let me move this a little bit just to get the face. I don't know if that was it or not. I'll do it again. Maybe I didn't have it over far enough. There you go. See, now the eye got transferred over. Okay, so I'll move the paper around. As long as this thing is staying on top of the wood and not moving around. Now, I'm going to do the cheek area. And I'm going to come around here, follow that line, come up. You have a little hitch in the beak here. This comes out this way, and down. This has that C on the bottom. It goes straight back, and this has an arc on it right here. Okay? Now, I'm going to move this sheet around a little bit because I think it's stopping it right over here. This will get most of it now. Now, you have a mantle line, which is right here, so I'm going to draw that mantle line in right there. Then you have another line of action. And if you bear with me here, I'm going to try to swing this around easy. You have a wing, which is right here. This line I put in. These are like the lines of action. Then you have another group of feathers right here. I'll get that in, but I'm going to put them all in. And then we have a break line in here. And then you have this line here, which is your tail. I don't know if I got that one well, but okay, I got it. I'm making sure everything's over where everything is. Now, I got the important lines that have to be captured, which is this one, this here. Now, what I'm going to do, you could come in and you could copy every one of these C's in here that formulate the mantle feathers if you want. Okay, you can do it that way. And as long as you have the graphite paper, and I hope we're in the right position, and I should have used the red pen so I know which one I did and which one I didn't. See, because if you do everything in blue, you don't know it compares to the black of the pattern. But we'll work it out. Don't worry about it. The red pen would be better because you could see what you completed and what you did. Okay? And we can still, now we have little ones in here, little C's, piggybacking off of each other. Okay? Then we have the set of 3 right here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we come up here. Got this grouping. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, we got that. We have 1 that's right on the edge up here. And here's another one right here. 1. This is a group 2, 3, then 4, 5, 6, and 7, which is right there. Then we have this grouping here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We may have to go over this again even after we got all this in. Now, we could come in here and try to capture all these little C's. I got a feeling I'm not exactly perfect on this, but I could come back with a pencil and go over what the markings should be if they don't come out right. Okay, look at that one. And on these straightaways, I'm going to do that without copying. Then if you have the breast area, you got 1, 2. Got these little guys right here. Some of them look like they're wrapping around. So we'll put these in. I get a feeling just the way I'm dropping off that not everything is copying right. You got to make sure you got this almost right over this exactly. And if it doesn't, like I said, I'll do a little fix up with a pencil, and I'll show you that too. So we got most of them in here. Okay, so that's the main part. Now, if we did it right, we have a pretty good transfer over, okay? Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a pencil, and I'm going to get my pattern. Let's just flip this sheet over here, as everything's right here, that I could copy that, but I'll come down here just so in case I have to look back up. Here's our eye. So I'm going to do this with a pencil now. I'm going to go over and make this stronger. This comes through here. This comes around here. This comes up. See, you may not be perfect. Now this came up, over, like this, and then hooks. This, if it got a little wavy, has a hook right out to the point. This has a C right in here, and this goes straight out. Okay. Now, that's the head. Now, the main line, which I said was this wing right here, we could come right in here and heavy that one up, and that comes all the way down and around to here. So that's one of the main ones. And then here's the mantle. This is that mantle line I was saying to you, which comes all the way up and over. And you know what I really did is I forgot a lot of the mantle lines, but I'll show you. You can't always say you get every one of them exactly. So here's one. I forgot this line here, and I didn't do a couple in here. So I'm going to put that line in, like here. That's one, and then this one comes up here. That's two. Here's three. Here's four. I'm going to massage it to get it just right with the pencil, okay? This is after I copy it. At least you got it in the ballpark, okay? Now, you have another, this line here I didn't put in. So I'll come up here, and I'll bring this down and around. Now that'll cover that one. Then the next one comes off of that and comes straight back. This one piggybacks off of that one. So you can massage maybe the line that I was supposed to be copying in case it went off or something like that. We'll get it in there right. And then we have this last one, which is coming down and then turns right up there. Okay? Now, I'm going to go for these three right in here. 1, 2, 3. I see them. They're pretty prominent. So I'm going to come out here like this, and like this. Okay? And then I think, let's see, did I get all that? And then there was one more that came up right through here. And that is this line. Oh, I see, it's down here. So here's this next group. Here's the one, which is this one right here. That came up and around. Then the second one piggybacks off of that one. Then this one comes here. This one comes here like this. So I'm trying to make this easy for you so that you can follow the pattern and really enhance what you're really going to copy, okay? Now, the other line that we had was this one here coming down, which is this. This came over like this. Now, we had a C in here. We have a C here, C here. And we just go back and put in what we, let's see, there should be one right here, and then there's another one over here that I missed. One there. You can ad lib a little bit, but you're basically plugging in what we may have missed. I see another one up here I missed, which is this big one right in here. This should have flowed around like this. And then there was another one right in front of here. So you could fill these in, okay, as we go. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. I'm going to do these C's that we have. And some of them are only going to be like half C's because they're rolling around on the breast. So we got to give that approach as if we're only looking at a portion of this. and the other C's are rolling around, okay? So it's not all full C's, okay? We could ad-lib a little bit here. But you're basically following what you see here. It may not have all copied correctly, but you can plug them in there and we can fill them in. Some of this didn't come up real well, but I will try to get some of them in here anyway, like so, okay? And I'll show you how this will all work. It's similar to what we did with the full-size one. Excuse me. My head's in the road here. Okay, now we have these little C's up front here. So we had one here, we got one here, one in here. Then I'm doing this. And these C's climbed all the way up to about here. So we have like here, here, and these are ones I didn't put in before. I got a little bigger on those, so I plug that one in and that one in. This got a little bigger right in here. You're trying to duplicate what's on the drawing. And if it didn't transfer over well, you can mimic these in there. Okay, like so. These aren't that hard. Now, if you took your time and you made perfect transfer over, you don't have any of this problem. But I wasn't perfect in getting this all over. So I'm coming in here and I'm filling it in. Okay, so I'll put one in here and then one in here. Now we probably have a little C in here and a little C in there. Now, we have little C's, which are here, so I'm going to enhance them so we could see them better. Because the graphite transfers over, but it's not strong, so a pencil would be ideal for doing this. Now, I did not purposely do these lines here, but if you needed to, you could have. And this line of action is this last edge. This would come right on up just like this. This is how the tail feather comes up, and this is your rump down here. So we're going to throw a couple of straight lines to mimic these. So I'm going to come down here, maybe a 16th, and try to parallel this edge and get this one in. This is the easy way. Then I'll throw another one, a 16th down from that, and then I'll try to get one more in there, and it may flow right to the edge, okay? That'll give the illusion that we have several feathers laying on top of each other. Now, I did not do the rump area here, so I'm going to sort of continue up with some C's here, here. We'll put one in here, here. And I'm not keeping them big. I'm keeping these small, not real small, not like the ones we have up front. And we're going to do that. And that fills that in. So you're basically copying what we have here. Now, to help us along a little bit, I'm going to ask you to, you see how the pencil lines are coming, they're radiating out like here from the bottom of the beak, and they're going like this. So I just stroke some straight lines right on out, and it's going to come around here. So it's coming around, and it's coming in this direction. Now I'm going to go into the cheek area here, and I'm going to start right maybe at the point, which is here, and stroke some lines same way. This is just to get directional burns when we go in to burn and texture this area. Then at the top here, I'm going to spin this around a little bit more. The top is sort of radiating up this way, and then it sort of spins. So you can draw straight lines coming straight back like this in this direction. This is just directional lines so that when you go to burn, you can have everything that was marked here on here, and you know how to go about doing that, okay? So for this video here, all the markings that are on here, and I'm not talking about measurements, I'm talking about the markings. You want to make sure that this comes out of here and doesn't come right out to the tip. It drops just below it, okay? That's what I'm trying to get, okay? Now, the thing I didn't tell you is and I didn't do it for this piece, which is, I'm remiss in doing this. I really missed it. But you should get a piece of sandpaper and just sand this down before we even start marking this, because it'll go on smoother as far as when we do the tracing over and have it nice and smooth. Depends on your sandpaper. You know, you could even get a sheet of sandpaper, lay this down, and then do this to get that nice and smooth. Okay, a big piece that is, you know, and do it that way. So this is a good start right here. And what I want you to do is to get that much done, and then we'll start lifting a couple areas to give it some definition. And then I'll show you how to burn all this. And it'll be similar to how we approached it on the real bird, okay? But I'll show you how to do that, and this will be the start. So I hope you'll enjoy this project like I do. I think this will make a nice Christmas gift for like the family. I have some grandchildren. I'll make one of these for them. And if anybody else wants to try it, like I said, I do have kits available. If you need to get a hold of me, I would say write to me. It's Rauscher. This is my email address. It's Rauscher, Rauscher, Frank, Frank, 7 @gmail.com. Write to me requesting a catalog. I'll send it out to you. And you can see all the different birds I carry. But as far as this project go, I'll have this at the bottom of the sheet. I think I will anyway. I hope there's room for this in there. This is another new item that I'm adding to it. And we should be able to get this one done well before Christmas so that you can have something to present that'll look like this when we get done. And then I'm going to get some yarn, green yarn, attach it to the back, and I think I have a picture in here where we have it hanging, and you can see that as well. But all this will be detailed up, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. And this is a quick project, again, that I'm just trying to get you to do something different. We had that whimsical mouse. Now we're going to do something for the holidays, and I think this would be a good time to get started. And if you need to make a few of these, you can get into that. And it looks like a fun project to get into. So I hope you guys will enjoy it. If you do, I'd ask you to give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that too. And if you know of anybody that may be interested in wanting to try this, put them on to me. That really helps in my count with YouTube, and I appreciate that very much. And I'll see you on the next video, and we'll keep on moving. I didn't show you how I cut these things out on a bandsaw because that's pretty much cut and dry. These are pretty much straight line cuts here, and there's not that much magic to this, okay? And that's the same way with the template and everything else. How we created the template is the same thing. You could use some cardboard. This is sort of, I don't know if it's Bakelite or Masonite or something like that. That makes it for a nice permanent one. Now for me, where I'm going to be cutting out maybe a few of these that somebody may want, the better the edge, the truer it comes, okay? And that's why I like a thicker cardboard. So hope you enjoy this project, and we'll be getting back to a real bird soon, but I wanted to just do some holiday stuff before we get started. So see you on the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this as well. Thank you.